really in favor in slang today, but that's what it was then. And God's love is radical in that sense, right? It's wonderful, incredible, and just totally awesome. But that's not the only reason that radical was chosen for this phrasing. Another thing I also think of, maybe John, you thought of this, the math symbol is called a radical. John's raising and giving me a thumbs up on that. So other math nerds, if you didn't know I was one of you, I guess I just outed myself there. But the radical symbol is the one that looks like a check mark, and it's used in square roots. It signifies the root of a number. And of course, God's love should absolutely be at the root of everything we do, that radical love. But that's not why the word was chosen here. It's not a bunch of math nerds on the task force. The last definition that comes to mind is that extreme one, right? Being far from the norm or just out there. And that's common now in our political discourse. A lot of, radical leftist is thrown around a lot. And it's this idea, though, of being extreme and far from the norm. That is what spoke to the people writing the statement of faith. The companion guide says it this way: God's love is radical in that we cannot contain it, hold power over it, or limit it. And I love that. God's love is so wildly big and extreme that we can't contain it or limit it. It's truly unconditional love. And as we heard in the reading from 1 John today, God is love. So any attempt to put restrictions on that love would be antithetical to the very nature of God. But wait, there's more. Not only is God's love radical, but the radically is also applied to the inclusive part of that sentence. God's radically inclusive love. The love of God, the nature of God is so inclusive to this extreme and totally awesome degree. It's for everyone, for all people, full stop. Everyone is included in the radically inclusive love of God. And we build our community grounded in that idea. This is from Jazz. He gave me this. It's that you could say being radical is in our roots. This amazing, unrestrained, uncontainable, unlimitable love is not just for those who believe the same things as us, for those who look like us or think like us, for those who have it all together or live a certain way. All people are invited to experience this love. This can be hard to live out, right? Way easier to say, yeah, we love everyone. Everyone's loved by God. And then you find somebody who pisses you off and you're like, no, not that person. Way harder to say than to do. But if we keep that idea in the forefront of our minds, that we find our identity as a community in that radically inclusive love rather than some common characteristics or beliefs, then again, we'll be on the right track. And our reading from Galatians today, I think that's what Paul was trying to say, that these two different categories, Jew and Greek, male and female, slave and free, that he chose those because they seemed like the difference between the two were just insurmountable. And there was, huge differences in culture and law and history between Greeks and Jews. Huge chasms of power and status between a slave and a free person. Kind of understand the male and female one, but definitely the patriarchy was stronger in Paul's time than it is now. So for us, it can be kind of hard sometimes to fully grasp the power of what Paul was saying here. So I want to translate those categories to the ones that maybe would mean something more in our culture today. What if he had said, there's neither black nor white nor brown, or neither American nor Chinese, or American nor Russian. There's neither conservative nor liberal. There's neither straight nor queer, neither upper class billionaires nor those in poverty. Take a second, you try and think of something that is applicable to you or makes sense to you in these two categories in our culture that just seem like diametrically opposed. Anybody got any you want to share? I covered it, okay. Now, I know Paul's not trying to say that these differences cease to exist or that they don't affect our lived experiences, because they do, but it's just that those are not the ultimate things that define us. It's our shared identities in Christ, as Paul puts it, as recipients of God's radically inclusive love, rather than any of those other identities that have shaped us elsewhere. This is the most important one. In this, we are one, and we find true belonging and community. Again, this is not about erasing our differences or individuality. It's knowing that our shared identity is not in uniformity or conformity, and that our diversity is our strength. But this is a call to be more than just a collection of individuals who've come here on a Sunday morning. This is a call to be authentic community where our unique identities are celebrated and honored as essential parts of a larger whole. There's many metaphors that have been used to describe this kind of idea. Paul several times uses the metaphor of a body, interdependent parts working as one body. Ray, a couple of weeks ago, mentioned us being different notes in music and creating a harmonious song. I've also heard it compared to threads, various shades and textures all woven together to make a beautiful tapestry. Whichever one of these metaphors speaks to you, take that one, but just the point is the same. We all bring something special to the table, and together we are more than our individual parts. So as I close, go forward not as individuals, but as a beloved community grounded in God's radically inclusive love for all people, where we don't all believe exactly the same things, but where everyone belongs and is welcome at the table just as they are. Thank you.
Right. Well, after that awesome sermon, now we're going to move into the song God You Are. You can remain in your seats for this one. It is a track. Looks like we're good. All right, let's do this.
I was young, you called my name.
Well, and that's the end of the song.
Okay, let's try that again. Like I said, mercy of the computer.
When I was young, you called my name.
Thank you, Alicia, for knowing all the things. One moment. I swear it worked during practice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more to the song. Really gonna get this part of the verse into your heads.
I was young, you called my name. I tried to run, but still you came. And you stepped into the dark, 'cause that's just the kind of God you are. When heaven seems beyond my reach, you still see eternity in me. You're turning ashes into art, 'cause that's just the kind of God you are. It's in the empty tomb, it's on the rugged cross. Your death-defying love is written in your scars. You'll never quit on me, you'll always hold my heart, 'cause that's the kind of God you are. You gave me freedom from my sins. You told me I can start again. All the hurt is is dead and gone. Now we're your children and your arms. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. We once were lost, but now we're found. Forever you hold us in your arms, 'cause that's just the kind of God you are. It's in the empty tomb, it's on the rugged cross. Your death-defying love is written in your scars. You'll never quit on me, you'll always hold my heart, 'cause that's the kind of God you are. You are holy, 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 high and set apart. You are holy, holy, holy. God, that's who you are. You are holy, 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 high and set apart. You are holy, holy, holy. God, that's who you are. It's in the empty tomb, it's on a rugged cross. Your death-defying love is written in your scars. You'll never quit on me, you'll always hold my heart, 'cause that's the kind of God you are. It's in the empty tomb, it's on a rugged cross. Your death-defying love is written in your scars. You'll never quit on me, you'll always hold my heart, 'cause that's the kind of God you are. When I was young, you called my name. I tried to run, but still you came. And you stepped into the dark, 'cause that's just the kind of God you are.
Okay. How about this? Okay. All right. I should have my script down. All right. My name is Caitlin. My pronouns are she, her, and this is driving me crazy. Okay, we'll try that. Well, it doesn't time out, so yeah, written copy's probably better. It's communion time. So, before we go any further, let's talk about
the ways that you can participate in communion, because this part is kind of participation based. So, if you're online, kind of only one way to participate with us, which is get something to drink, get something to eat, have that ready to go. For the rest of you who are in the building right now, there's 3 ways. Number 1, you can raise your hand right now, and Michael is walking around with a little basket of individual cups. Those are not gluten-free, but if you can eat gluten and you want to stay in your seat, that's the option for you. Okay, there's 2 options to stay in your seat. If you want to consume something and stay in your seat, that's the option. You're going to peel back 1 layer, get a wafer, peel back the other layer, drink the juice. I'll let you know when to do that. Option number 2, you're going to wait, and when I'm done speaking, you're going to stand up and come up here and eat from these little cups. Someone will hand you the cracker, and then you dip it in the juice. For that option, that's gluten-free. Again, wait until I'm done speaking, and then you can get up from your seat and come up here. Third option, to participate with us, you can just stay seated. That's still a form of participation here. That was such an awesome sermon from Alicia. I was so excited when I saw it was her preaching this week. I love her sermons. And it got me thinking about my first time coming into contact with this church's theology, which was my new member class that I took years ago, probably like 2018-ish. I was surprised that we don't have one core theology. You can believe whatever you want and still come here. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to say that I grew up in a church where that wasn't the case, but I grew up in a church where I kind of assumed that there was a theology that you had to believe to be there, and I just thought, like, well, I'm sure my parents believe it, and that's why we're here, so, like, I'm covered. I didn't really have to think about it. Until I became an adult, and suddenly I did. Suddenly I had to know what I believed and where that fit into whatever church I was going to. I remember the first time that I went to the Methodist church that was on campus for my college. Well, it was right next door to campus. That's why I went to it. And there was a baby being baptized. Oh, is that okay? I've never seen that before. And so I went and talked to the pastor afterwards, and his response to me was like, yeah, well, some parents want to do it early, some parents wait, we do whatever. Which is probably exactly what this church's take on that would be, but at the time I felt so lost. What? You don't even know what you believe on this? What am I supposed to do? How do I know if this is a good church to go to if you don't have like a set rule for me to follow? Might be a theme in my life. Like I said, I didn't grow up with like really strict theology that I had to stick to, but I grew up with rules. And when people strayed from what I thought I was supposed to do, I was not like my son. Hey, you can't do that. You have to do things exactly the way I learned how to do them. Which I'm sure is because he's only almost 3. No, I
took everything in as, oh, you can do it that way? Cool, that means I can do it that way too. Which sometimes was good, and sometimes led to very awkward conversations with my parents, where they were like, why would you do that? They did it. Can't I do it too? This happened with theology, which I think is their fault for not teaching me what their theology was in the first place. I went to college and I was like, my theology professor has this really interesting view on angels. And they came down to campus to have a talk with me. They were concerned. I'm still not sure why they were so concerned. It was this view on angels that like, oh, angels aren't this like far away thing in heaven. Angels are here every day with us. I didn't think that was that weird. But that was my first realization that, oh, there is a certain way that you are supposed to do Christianity. And apparently, even my Bible college professor isn't doing it right. What do I do now? And I looked for a long, long time. Find a church that I felt was right for me. My beliefs, my theology, whatever that was, still figuring it out, really. Then I came here, and I was told, yeah, you can keep whatever beliefs you have. That doesn't help me. I remember I had questions. I had just come out of the Orthodox Church. That was where my wife went, and so that's where I started to go, and I did not feel welcomed there. I did not feel like I fit in, and I had a lot of questions about the Virgin Mary, because that was a big deal in the Orthodox Church, and I had never seen that be a big deal before. So when I came here, my new membership class, I was like, what do we believe about the Theotokos? And Pastor Alicia's response was, is that the Virgin Mary? Is that who we're talking about? Yes. Yes, the Theotokos is what Orthodoxy uses to talk about the Virgin Mary. It was a big sticking point for me that they were like, and she stayed a virgin for the rest of her life. And when it talks about her having other kids, those are actually cousins. I felt like that was a little unfair to anyone else who got married and like had kids. What are you saying about us? So I had questions. And I didn't get answers. And I had to be okay with that. One of the ways that I became okay with that was this communion table, this one, right here. Because we might not have a core theology, but we have a core statement, right? That this table is an open table. You don't have to be a member of this church or any church or believe any certain way to be welcomed at this table. That's what got me. That's when I realized that could be my core belief. I don't need everything else. I don't need to have all the answers about what Revelations means or if Mary had kids or not, more kids. I just need to believe that God welcomes everyone to the table. After we do communion, I'm going to read a prayer from this book called Rage Prayers. by Reverend Elizabeth Riley from the Anglican Church. It's a prayer on indoctrination that I think might be useful for anyone else out there who, like me, struggles or struggled with not having that core theology all figured out. But what I want you to take away from this table today is that feeling of being accepted. You don't have to believe a certain way to be accepted. You are just God's child. And as God's children, let us receive that communion, that Last Supper together. So those of you who have cups, little individual cups, go ahead and peel that first layer back for the wafer. You're going to eat and drink with me now. On the night in which he gave himself up for us, Jesus took the bread, raised it, and he broke it. He broke it, saying, "Take, eat. This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." Go ahead and eat your wafer now. And when the supper was over, he took the cup, he gave thanks to God, and he gave it to his disciples and said, "Drink from this, all of you. This is the cup of a new covenant, a new way of loving yourselves, each other, and God. Do this as often as you drink it in remembrance of me." Now, I'm going to invite all of you who want to come up to start your way up, because friends, Christ invites us all to this table. For this is the love of God for the people of God, and we are the people of God. Now I would like to leave you with this prayer from, again, Rage Prayers by Reverend Riley. For us who drank from the cup of beliefs without choice or option, where questions were silenced and belief weaponized, we pray that you might help us untangle everything we were indoctrinated to, from our understanding of ourselves and the world, to shed that which does not serve us, to have the bravery to ask questions, and to break from all we've known. In the midst of exhaustion and grief, to know you will not abandon us, no matter how far we must wander, to find our own selves and beliefs. Because it is there you have always known us and love us from the beginning for exactly who you are and not what we profess.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ray. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I wanted to thank you all this morning. Beautiful message, beautiful communion as always. We appreciate your support in helping our church to branch out into new areas of mission and ministry. Here are the ways you may make a financial gift to our church. Those of you here in person may give online or by cash or by check. If you're giving cash, there should be a seat back near you with an envelope. If you want to place that in the envelope, and then Michael's coming around with a tray. If you can just place that in the offering plate. You can also scan the QR code. Maybe? There it is. Thanks. The QR code, or go to our website, ppmcc.org, and click on the Give Now button in the top menu. We are a very busy and active congregation, and your financial gifts make these things possible. So here are a few things that your gifts bring about. Everyone save the date. Sunday, October 26th is our congregational meeting after service. It is 11:30 a.m. The board will be providing brunch. We'll be sharing information, voting on new board members, and our lay delegate and alternate. Anyone can attend and contribute. Only official members can vote at the congregational meeting. The Affirming Men's Alliance, or AMA, is meeting October 25th from 6 to 8 at the Eagles. Oh, never mind. Not at the Eagles, here at PPMCC. Brandon Robertson, a queer pastor and activist and author of new book Queer and Christian, will be speaking at Vista Grande UCC October 21st. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Discussion starts at 7. It is a free thing to attend, and no advance tickets are needed. So if you're able to go, I'd actually attend. PPMCC is also helping Westside Cares with gift cards for Thanksgiving. And you can donate King Soopers gift cards in the amount of $10, $20, $25, or if you want to reach out to Trudy, there she is. She will purchase the things and the cards for you. The deadline is Sunday, November 2nd for those gift cards. And I'm going to invite Trudy up as well to kind of share a couple other announcements.
Well, thank you. First of all, on the way in, I noticed there was quite a few donations that came in for Westside Cares. When we listen sometimes to things like, programs being cut and so forth from our government, those donations to Westside Cares are even more important. Westside Cares does not take any government money, so we're a little more solid than some of the ones you've been hearing around town that are laying people off and cutting programs and so forth. But we do need those private donations and donations from funds. And, they're already seeing things like last week when I was there, there was no nurse. And I think that part of this is some of the government shutdown starting to happen and grants being put on hold and so forth. So just thank you so much for your donations to that. And we'll be collecting a lot of blankets and coats that will split between Hope COS and Westside Cares. So many of the organizations are so good about collaborating that we work with. That's why we choose them. We like their mission statements too, of not requiring a whole lot of barriers to come in. We call like Westside Cares a low barrier organization. You don't have to, enroll in a program or promise that you're going to become sober or anything. We just serve them. We serve the working poor. So thank you, and we appreciate also the gift cards for Thanksgiving. Very, very important. I just wanted to give you an update. We're planning again to do our Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. We call it a celebration, even though the name sounds like it's something scary, but it's really celebrating all the people and pets and so forth that have passed. It's a cultural thing. In some ways it started, in Latin and South America, but it's growing. More and more people are seeing the value of some healthy grief and celebration of the people who we have lost, even the pets we have lost, and how they've shaped their lives. So on November 1st, Saturday, from 2:30 to 4:30, we're going to open up the church for doing some crafts that many people often do to decorate their altars, which are called ofrendas, that honor their loved ones. And it'll also be a time where you can come in and set up an altar to your loved ones, and or you can also do the crafts if you just want to, set up an altar in your home. Many people do that too. The next day, Sunday, November 2nd, we will have the ofrendas set up. So after the service, maybe people can kind of go around and view them and ask people about their altars and, learn a little bit more about who is important to them, who shaped them. And then we'll have a potluck after that little brief period. This year we're kind of going with a theme of, bring food that was something that you enjoyed growing up when you were a kid. Even if you, can't make that strawberry rhubarb pie like your mom did, maybe you can buy one. It's okay to do that. So favorite foods is a very big part of the picnics that people do on Dia de los Muertos. You can bring your favorite games. We're going to have some games areas set up, and we have a movie that deals with the theme of Day of the Dead, and it's family friendly. Kids would enjoy it too. We'll have that set up. Last year we did Coco. This will be a new one on that theme, and we really hope that you come in and join us. It was a very fun celebration last year, so please come again.
Thank you, Trudy. See, like I said, so many fun and amazing things we're doing here. We want to do more. You can check out the email newsletter and all of our events on the website, ppmcc.org, to stay up to date on all the latest news. Because of God's generous gifts, this church is able to bring God's vision of inclusive justice and love to this city Thank you for your faithful generosity. I have one other announcement just about the pastoral search team. As many of you know, we're now accepting applications for those who wish to be a part of the pastoral search team. If you do feel called or led to serve on this team, we do invite you to apply. We do need your application by October 26th. You can find the application on the pastoral search team on the pastoral search tab on the page of our website. It's also, you can track where we are in the search process and share your input. You can get to this page by going to ppmcc.org, clicking on the purple PPMCC button at the top, then click on Pastoral Search from the drop-down menu. There is also a direct link in the newsletter and a QR code up on the screen. If you have any questions or feedback about the search process or anything else, please email us at bod@ppmcc.org or reach out to one of the board members specifically to speak directly. I think it's Terry. It's just you and I here today. If you have any questions today, this is a journey we're all on together as a family, and thank you for showing up in your continued prayers.
Friends, the Spirit of life calls us together. We come, diverse in our journeys, yet united in our longing for connection. Like the light through a prism, God's radical love shines through each of us, revealing a unique hue. We bring our colors, our experiences, our identities, our strengths to illuminate this gathering. From the quiet whispers of our hearts to the resounding voices of community, let us open ourselves to the unfolding beauty of creation, recognizing the divine in every soul. For the tapestry of humanity is woven with the threads of every shade and texture, each one essential to the whole. We celebrate the richness of our diversity and embrace the unity that binds us together. May we be reminded that all are joyfully and wonderfully made, each a vital part of the divine design. Let us go out grounded in God's radically inclusive love and extend that radical love and unity to others. And all God's people said, Amen. Please rise and embody your spirit as we sing our closing song, Thrive.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here in this worn and weary land, where many a dream have died. Like a tree planted by the water, we never will run dry. So living water flowing through, God, we thirst for more of you. Fill our hearts and flood our souls with one desire. Just to know you and to make you known, we lift your name on high. Shine like the sun, make darkness run and hide. We know we were made for so much more than ordinary lives. It's time for us to more than just survive. We were made to thrive. Into your word we're digging deep to know your heart. Into the world we're reaching out to show them who you are. So living water flowing through, God, we thirst for more of you. Fill our hearts and flood our souls with one desire. Just to know you and to make you known, we lift your name on high. Shine like the sun, make darkness run and hide. We know we were made for so much more than ordinary lives. It's time for us to more than just survive. We were made to thrive. Joy unspeakable, faith unsinkable, love unstoppable, anything is possible. Joy unspeakable, faith unsinkable, love unstoppable, anything is possible. Joy unspeakable, faith unsinkable, love unstoppable, anything is possible. Joy unspeakable, faith unsinkable, love unstoppable, anything is possible. Just to know you and to make you known, we lift your name on high. Shine like the sun, make darkness run and hide. We know we were made for so much more than ordinary lives. It's time for us to more than just survive. We were made to thrive. Whoa, whoa, whoa. To thrive.
All right, go in peace, everybody.